Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Jin Movie So Awesome. I'm Joe.
I'm One Jin.
First of all, before we begin, I'd like to give a big shout out to Zach Milne, Talks Movies. We saw your reply that you left for our Ahsoka show. Hey, thank you so much, man. And thank you for the cheer to tell us to keep doing this. Thank you so much. We checked out your channel. We feel like our DNA is very similar. Except our editing skills are way inferior to yours. But we do like long forms. Me and Wonjin like to talk a lot. Hey, but big shout out to you, Zach. Thank you so much for taking an interest in our channel. You are our 26th subscriber. We will remember that forever. And Wonjin just privately told me that he's going to buy you a very expensive notebook. When we
I mean, I do want to. It's not like I don't want to, but... Hey. He's making this up.
But thank you so much, Zach. We will always check out your channel. And for our loyal 26 subscribers, if you haven't checked Zach's channel, please go. He talks a lot of he breaks down movies really well in the short format. It's really good. We like it. Please go check it out. And thank you to our rest of our subscribers. We still remember you. Please keep your interest in us and press like and subscribe. Today, we are going to talk about Creator.
The Creator. It's a science fiction movie, and frankly, I only found out about this movie like 2 days before I watched it.
Yeah.
And it was not like a movie I was anticipating or movie that I was looking forward to. But, you know, right now at the moment, there aren't so many movies that are too appealing to me. But, you know, because I like science fiction. And Joe recommended me. Like he gave a pretty high praise for the movie, so I thought, okay, I should definitely check this out. So I went to watch it. Let me give my first impression.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Oh, and major spoilers alert.
One didn't go first.
Yeah.
But spoilers.
The Creator was surprisingly good, and it also gave me a lot of this like 80s Japanese animation, the science fiction animation vibe. Yeah. It feels like that was converted into a Hollywood film. That's the kind of feeling I got from this movie.
Hey, I want to give a big shout out to this movie for its pacing, though, because me and Wenjin, we agreed on this. This movie was never boring for a 2 hour and 30-minute movie, man. I mean, I thought the editing and just the pacing was brilliant. It confused me enough to not think about the plot too much, which doesn't make sense that much, by the way. Oh, my undercover spy girlfriend happens to be
like the what's it called?
Yeah,
Nirhata or something.
I don't know. I read it, but
Nirmata.
But hey, I did like the Nirvana imagery though. Like the Buddhist stuff was all over the place.
Yeah,
and I felt like this movie was about transcending what a human being is and trying to bridge that gap in the most science fiction way possible. And I like that. It's the reason why we like Blade Runner, except this was a more exciting and less depressing version of Blade Runner. And I want to praise Denzel Washington's son too. Like his acting, He is a great actor. Like
I had no idea that was Denzel Washington's son.
Yo, he was in that Nolan's thing.
Tenet. I know him as a Tenet guy, but I did not know that was Denzel Washington's son. Maybe I was kind of lazy. Researching things.
Me and Wonjin are both lazy, so forgive me for keep calling him Denzel Washington's son. But he does not look like Denzel Washington's son. But he sure has his father's range of playing multiple emotions in one movie. And this one like I'm not saying he carried it, because all the actors Kanshi Watanabe he's always great. And he just played somebody who is a spy, who falls in love, who becomes a father, and then he becomes also a revolutionary. I thought he carried it really well.
Yeah.
He has that actor's charm where he can play both the everyman and still be unique. That's the difference between him and his father. His father is like Jack Nicholson at this point, where we all know it's Denzel Washington.
What is it? What's the new one? Equalizer 3?
Yeah, I was like,
check that out.
That was Denzel Washington. Awesome.
Yeah, so just digressing a little bit, but Denzel Washington, Liam Neeson, and like you say, they're kind of becoming like a Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, like not in a bad way, but all I'm saying is in Departed, that was Jack Nicholson being the Irish mob boss and being completely convincing. I mean, there are actors who can just become like, like shadows in a way, like But I mean, here I want to praise. The first thing I want to praise is the CG. Like, I heard the budget was like 100 million or under that, but I don't know if it's because the imagery was like you're distance away, or I think there's a lot of benefits like a CG guy can have when like the image they want to portray is more of a large scale thing. Yeah. And here, a lot of that was great. It was so realistic.
And I heard about the budget for the first time. It's unbelievable that they managed to do this with $100 million, because I was also going to praise the CGI in this movie. Yeah. Especially with the what's it called? USS Nomad. That warship scanning the land with the laser thing, and later in the later part of the movie they show us the missile silo, that system in outer space. That did not look like a budget movie, and it also gave me a lot of vibe of what's that movie with Tom Cruise?
Which one?
Oh, Oblivion.
Yeah,
Oblivion. It gave me a lot of Oblivion vibe.
Yeah, it did.
But I think the CGI was actually better than Oblivion.
Oh, it was way better.
Yeah, it was way better.
No, and I would almost call this movie like a folktale. Like there are just so many symbolism all over the place. It's like starting from the robots wearing the Buddhist robe, the monk robe. Also, it condenses a lot of like heavy themes. It's the opposite of Blade Runner, because the thing about the recent Blade Runner 2049 was it stayed on a theme for a long time. That's what Blade Runner did. But this one was like, go, 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 go. Okay, so he had an Asian, like this guy we just met who happens to be Denzel Washington's son, had this Asian android girlfriend, and they loved him, but fuck it. Okay, you're all dead. Let's move on. And then the pacing was amazing, though. Yeah. Like, I even love the little like 3-penny theater like black screen that comes up and says the mother, the daughter, and then like it was such a. I think the director and everybody here was like on point. There was like, this is entertainment first, and then message later, because they don't really go in deep into the topics though. Yeah, like. Because they kind of throw us in this world. The world, like, the visual presentation of it was so convincing that I didn't think about it. Yeah. But after I watched the movie, I was like, okay, there's a lot of plot holes in this shit. There is a lot of jumps. They don't even explain, like... It's like how Star Wars don't explain droids. I was, like, wondering, like, why is the robot with the human face automatically the commander of the... guys without? Is that some kind of hierarchy thing? I was just like, there are a lot of questions that we dig into it, but
that's true.
It just I think the movie was telling us, fuck that's not the point. This is gonna be a fun ride where you think about a lot of shit. Go take it. And then I thought the movie delivered really well.
And I agree. I completely agree. I think the best thing about the movie is that the movie kind of knows exactly what it wants to be. Yeah. I like the fact that it did not go too deep into, like you said, making the plot like flawless and trying to deliver a message first and blah, 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 because that would have made the movie a lot more boring. We've seen movies, I think, on a kind of like on a similar page, like Elysium, and we also have a lot of those like sci-fi movies like Alita, Battle Angel, who's also like a secret weapon and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. We've seen a lot of movies like this. And I think this is, so far, out of like the movies, I mean, sci-fi movies from the past decade, like a perfect balance between entertainment and like a message.
I would still put it below District 13, though.
That's beyond a decade. Yeah.
Oh, shit. 2009, right? You're right. That's pretty old. Wow, it's been that long?
Yeah.
Because I thought District 13.
Was it District 9 or 13?
Okay, it's District 9. You're right.
Because I think District 13, the Banlieue 13,
It's
is
the
like the
parkour
French,
movie.
like the parkour,
You're
the
right.
parkour movie.
Yeah,
I think it's
parkour
District
movie.
9, the
Yeah,
South
District
Africa
9.
one. Yeah,
My
District
bad.
9.
I apologize because District 9 was unique in that the relationship between the alien and the main character it worked.
Yeah.
But this one actually I thought it had a wider ambition to talk about parenthood. What is love?
What it means to be a human.
Yeah, but what is love too? Because like there's almost like Inception like quality to the last scene when Denzel Washington's son meets Nirvana.
Hold on, wait. John David Washington.
Yeah, John David Washington.
David,
I apologize. I'm so sorry. You're John David Washington. We'll call you John David Washington from now on. When John Washington David meets that also famous Asian actor.
Gemma Chan. We saw her in The Eternals.
Yeah. She's also a great actor. Like it was so brilliant in the fact that when that scene happened, it didn't matter if she was real or not. Because there's love.
Yeah.
The one of the central theme of this movie, impressively, is love, and it was like almost like the Buddhist theme worked because they were basically in the Buddha conception of heaven. Like there were deeper themes. Like I almost feel like the writer and creator of this movie was just thinking of that theme first. Because, like, I almost felt like they were one. And then there was this Nirvana concept going on. Like, self-knowledge and love at the same time. So, like, it almost felt like the sci-fi elements were there to support that message.
Yeah.
And I thought... Because I was really moved by the scenery before the build-up. Because the action was tense. And, you know, John Washington was trying to save his daughter. And then... That's the most noble sacrifice for a parent to make for the child, right? And then the parents meet, and then it's like, it doesn't matter if she's real or not. Because John Washington, he accepts her as real, and he's happy to see her.
Yeah.
And then they die.
Yeah, and it was also brilliant because they were on that flower field.
Yeah, it was intentional, because it's almost like an imagery where it's not a spaceship anymore. It's like, remember in Gladiator... Russell Crowe,
Russell we have that like dream moment, like he's on the verge of death, and it's like his wife and son are waiting.
Yeah, so it's like a metaphysical place where it's not about science and terrorism or U.S. AI anymore. It's telling us that love transcends biology and machinery because she's not her, or we have to ask ourselves, is she? Because, like, her eye to Mr. Washington was one of recognition.
Yeah. And she actually calls out his name.
No, but, like, Wonjin, you brought up a good point. My point exactly. Like, what is consciousness? Is it downloadable and is she real? But the scene was done in such a way that it didn't matter if it was, hey, ZZ!
Even the place where that happened has an interesting symbolism.
See, Zed is sharp like that. That's why we like Zed. The big shout out to ZZ. Hey Zed, we just had a new subscriber called Zach Milne. If you should check out his channel too. His channel is awesome, man. Hey, but thank you for tuning in directly. We're gonna talk about 2 more shows after these, like Gen V and what's
Gen V and
Loki. So, but this one we're gonna talk about creative. So I thought like. See, I thought the chapter format and like they build up to that really well. So like the main plot just worked for me.
Yeah. And
I was like, by the end of the movie, I didn't give a fuck about any of the plot holes. I was just like, this is like a movie that you experience. But another like side note is I love that suicide bomber droid. I don't know if it's appropriate to say that today, but I just like how he's running.
Yeah,
like
and I also love the touch, like the first suicide bomber robot when he's instructed to like destroy itself. It was kind of hesitating.
Yeah,
that was also an interesting touch.
I thought that was open to interpretation though, but I get what you were thinking. But I also thought that was the most ineffective way to bomb a place. I was like, dude, you can just why do you need that guy to run a walking target? Oh, I also love the tanks and hated them at the same time.
They're so massive.
No, I love that they were massive, but as soon as they start rolling, I was like, wait a minute, this is so impractical. Like, if you can make this,
I was also thinking the same thing.
Yeah, okay, let's go. He's the army expert.
Yeah, because I was thinking, like, you look at World War II history, like the Nazis
tried to Leopard tank.
they tried to make a tank that was so massive. The problem is, it was impractical because it was so heavy, it would get stuck on Earth. It would get stuck in the dirt.
Yeah.
It could not maneuver because it was too heavy.
And the maintenance, man. I was just thinking, you know what I was thinking? I was like, if you can make a human-like android, why aren't you making, like, what's those dinosaurs called?
I don't know. In Korean, it's called Ignung, but I don't really know the name.
You mean the Phoenix? Like, why aren't you making a hive of, like, droids to just eat them out? I was just like, it's so cool, but... The fact that they use robots to kill droids. Yeah. No, but hey, Zed, I thought that was part of the theme, though. Because the whole theme was humans killing humans. And then it was also, like, they didn't explain it all, but there was robot-on-robot violence going on. And I felt like some robots were independent, like the Asian lady. The girlfriend of the dude. And I thought, like, why are these droids subservient to the humans? But I thought the movie was smart in not explaining in those, though. They just threw the situation at us, and even the characters don't explain it. They're like, this is just it.
And if we start explaining all that, it's going to become a Nolan movie.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
And Nolan movies are awesome, but those are not my favorite parts. And this year, I thought, hey, you like it. They showed us, not told us.
Yeah.
And
don't tell.
And they just made us assume that this world is how it's regulated. But I did love the villain, though. She's a great actor. The tall lady.
Oh, the Allison Janney.
Oh, she's so brilliant.
By the way, she also has a lot of range. You're gonna see her in a lot of comedies as well.
Yeah,
she's so brilliant.
Yeah,
and I also love that they took a brief moment to give her some dimension about her son. Was it?
Oh, yeah,
yeah. And you could see that when she was inspecting that droid that got killed in the apartment, the lady droid.
Yeah.
I could tell. I could see the hate in her eyes.
Yeah,
yeah.
And even her story was interesting because it was such a weird explanation of, like, robot to human violence, like how robots can trick you, and I felt the movie did, like, I want to talk about the last beautiful scene, and even with the daughter arriving on planet Earth, is because the movie's message is actually very clear. It's saying, like, aren't we all the same? We love each other. Like, all the problems before, what it's trying to say is, like, even if robots have humanity, it's asking us what it means to be human. And I have to mention Blade Runner, because that's the exact, like, Blade Runner had like smarter dialogue, by the way, because one of the droid girls asked handsome Canadian, like, you only like cyber girls or whatever, and it's a question of what is real, what is human, and here, like, this movie, I like it because it answers it directly. We're all human. Fuck that. If a droid talks.
Even the farmer lady says it. Like, the droids have more heart than you. Yeah.
I found that refreshing because I was just like, if they act like human, they're humans, bitch. End the fucking story. I like that about us because it's not like other movies where am I real or not. And they didn't. Hey, here's the thing too. I thought it was a very appropriate message for the world we live in today, because, like, this movie has, like, robots acting more human than humans, and I thought that was also a huge theme. And we also see robots acting like the robots we think they should be, like Terminator mode. That guy with the copying face.
Yeah,
and that was a good touch. And this movie had a lot of smart moments, like very creative scenes. I'm not saying this movie broke new grounds in sci-fi, but I would say it studied a lot of it, and came up with a lot of great new ideas on top of that.
Yeah, and this is what these science fiction movies always surprise me. You know, Terminator, like it has a Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, and you can kind of when you see these like epic science fiction movies, the world is so big, but these movies, they're usually like a one-shot thing. Hold on, we're losing connection. I don't know why.
Really? Must be the server or something. Hey, we're back. Was there a buffering error? We're so sorry, guys.
We're losing connection for some reason.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, we're getting back on track. Okay, we're back on track.
Oh.
But anyways, when you see these like epic science fiction movies, the universe is so big and they have enough time to show some like creative aspects of science fiction. But these movies like The Creator, I think there was also a movie called Transcendence with Johnny Depp and Elysium, Chappie, Alita, Battle Angel. These movies are all kind of like independent movies.
No, but I feel like, hey, I want to say this.
Oh, no, but
yeah, I'm sorry.
The point is, within that time frame, they still managed to show us something completely fresh. For example, Elysium. I remember like the villain's face, blown up face, getting like reconstructed with this like super medical technology. It's just basically being rebuilt. And in this movie, what fascinated me was like that conscience of a dead body, like coming back to life on a different body for like a limited time. Yeah, that was an interesting idea.
I thought this movie was way superior than Elysium, though. Because Elysium, the problem with that was it dragged on in the middle really heavy.
Yeah.
I felt like Elysium tried to explain what it was. Here it doesn't. It's Elysium, like basically they're both parables. You know, it's really about power and humanity. Because here it's really about, you know, because the nomad is a symbolism. Because it's called nomad, like it's supposed to make us think about Genghis Khan or whatever. It's about human violence, and it's coming to a Buddhist temple where robots are. So it's really on the nose. Except what I loved about this movie was like, fuck yeah, you get the symbolism, right? Just shut the fuck up. But Elysium was just like trying to explain it where Matt Damon gets dramatic. And a big problem with that was Matt Damon too, because his star power kind of like, I felt like, but hey, this movie reminded me of, you're going to find this surprising, but reminded me of Terminator 4.
Oh, the one with the Batman, what's his name?
Yeah.
Christian Bale.
Remember that scene where Sam, that actor, gets like he didn't know he was a Terminator. And it also had great ideas like those motorcycle Terminators and big ones. And
it kind of showed the terrifying aspects of a Terminator robot. Yeah. And I'm kind of sad that they didn't like build up on that franchise.
Yeah, I felt like Terminator 4 was kind of misunderstood.
Yeah, that was very underrated.
Yeah. So I'm saying this has the same similar thing where it's really a sci-fi entertainment with some philosophical thoughts sprinkled onto it. That's the essence of it, I felt. Because, hey, I want to ask you something. Like, for me, a movie has to be entertaining. Like, I'm not here to read, like, AI ethics, like, published by UN. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here to be entertained. And maybe, you know, this is a great movie because after I watched it, I had a lot to talk about in dinner with a friend. You know, because I was like, wow, they touched on it. What do you think about, you know, what is humanity? What is human? What is robot? And I thought the movie just delivered enough. And the emotional stakes were really high, too. I love the love story, you know, better love story than Twilight. Just like, because the actors really carried it. Yeah. And I, like...
what's even fascinating is they did not have enough screen time to actually explain in detail.
No, but I love it because like the first scene we see them is like they're hugging and she's pregnant, but the baby's dead, and then it asks this serious question. So here's a mother who's also like quote unquote God to these people, replicates her child, and then I love that theme because it's like redemption almost. And you know what I respect about her is I don't feel like she had hate for John David Washington's character. A big theme of this movie is also forgiveness. Yeah. like forgiveness and redemption.
And I mean, it's kind of obvious, but there's definitely a lot of Buddhist element in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also like the moment when the child is revealed.
Yeah.
It's basically hidden away in this like missile silo kind of place, and she's just sitting there watching television. And on the television, you also see like that 80s Japanese animation style video thing.
But that whole presentation is Japanese anime.
Yeah.
The big dome.
Yeah.
And the pipes.
There's like a lot of Akira vibe when you see it. Yeah, I loved it. Because now, I mean, it's reminiscent of those 80s, like brilliant 80s sci-fi animations.
Yeah, because you just mentioned a great plot hole. Because like one of the great plot holes is her power is going to grow as she grows. I was like, what? Like, how does that work? Like, please explain to me, Nirvana. So you designed a robot. You could have made her all powerful from the start, but why does she have to grow to? You know what I mean? But
imagine like Jurassic Park beginning with baby dinosaurs, and then we have to wait decades for them to grow up.
Yeah, because I felt like it was like an artificial limit. I mean, the story made it made it have stakes, but I felt like if you're gonna make basically a human baby EMP, because that's what she is, like. I felt like that didn't make sense. I felt like she could have just like, daddy, like just crushed the no, man. That would have made me hilarious. But anyway, all I'm saying is I loved every part of this movie. I'm not saying it was perfect, but hey, I had a hell of a good time watching sci-fi.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't had fun watching sci-fi movie like this in a long time. And I even like the name, the creator, the wife, the baby, the man. Like, it's almost like touching on this, like, I feel like it was like following like a scripture structure.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like a Messiah thing. Like, I love that element where, and they didn't overdo it. It was just the right amount. So that's
also a great point, having that Messiah symbolism.
Yeah, there was, because like she was almost like you mentioned it well. It's like a Japanese anime where she's almost like a savior, like she's like a Mariah Baby character. Like she doesn't like she's a figurative child of the god, but is she though? She's a virgin birth.
Yeah, because remember she was conceived, but she's not the actual baby. She's like a replica.
Yeah. No, but she's also like a virgin birth. So, but she's also a Jesus Christ figure. That's a girl.
And another thing I should mention is I love like the unexpected goofy joking moment. You know, when like the baby says what John David Washington said. Yeah. It's like the mission is to not let these like punk ass police blah 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 blah. Yeah, those did make me chuckle.
No, because here's the thing, though. She's like basically like a Dalai Lama figure.
I was gonna mention that as well. Yeah, there's a strong Dalai Lama vibe here.
Like this is not like a miracle prediction we're doing. It's so obvious because her balding hair, which kind of neutralized her sex
and selected
exactly
when a child.
Yeah, exactly. Even the way the people around her treat her, especially in that facility, that's a Dalai Lama thing, and. So the like Buddhism, but I felt like it wasn't strictly like a Tibetan Buddhism like symbolism though. I felt like the movie did enough to transcend that, and it was really good. And she's a great actor. That child actor, that girl actor blew it off the park.
I also really like the prologue of the movie where they kind of give us this background and context of what's going on. Yeah. Like there was a thermonuclear weapon detonation in Los Angeles and all these people died and blah 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 blah. I also like the like fake news kind of things. Yeah. It gave me some like Matrix vibe as well. Yeah, I mean not the Matrix, but the Animatrix vibe.
No, but you were right because I think we already said this. I'm gonna say it again. You pointed out really well. It's like a homage to the 80s Japanese anime thing, but they brought in just enough new things to make it like palpable in 2023, and it's such a pure movie in that sense. Like it's like an old school sci-fi movie that we love. No political bullshit, no fucking like whatever the fuck, no Disney politics, no nothing. Just here it is. It's a fable. It doesn't matter. here we go. Like, cause like even the new Asian name, it was funny because like
New Asia.
No, cause I say it's a fable or parable because that's like George Orwell shit. Yeah, there's this country, whatever it symbolizes here is like whatever this symbolizes. It doesn't matter. That's not the point. But the action was like the military guy action was great too.
Yeah,
like the sci-fi. But anyway, hey, let's give a number grade now.
I would give this movie an 8.5, and I don't give it a 9 because I would have given it a 9 if there was this like one droid that kind of acts as like a bodyguard for this like Dalai Lama figure that was basically designed to do nothing but kill. I wanted like a super killer droid action in this because remember, like, this the creator. And don't you think that she could have made like a droid that was designed solely to protect the other droids? So like a kind of like an unstoppable Terminator kind of thing.
Let me defend this movie.
Because I was not convinced that in the beginning of the movie, these like spec ops, the human spec ops, like special operations team, like breaching through their securities and everything. I was not really convinced by that.
First of all, let me speak hypothetically on behalf of creators. Fuck you. I didn't have the budget to do that, motherfucker. Fuck you, you little white. Like, love it. I know what you're saying. Like, Wonjin, I could tell that your comments come from like a place of love because you feel like it's like watching Alien 2 because Alien 2 is like because what you just said is basically Alien 2 where Sigourney Weaver comes up with the construction machine and it's so perfect.
Get off her, you little bitch.
I don't think they had the budget for it, and then I think it's just the reality. And I'm gonna give it a 9, man. The only reason why I'm not giving it a 10 is it just lacks that 2% to make a masterpiece. You know, it's not the movie's problem. Like I feel like the 10 out of 10 movie is the one where plot, action, drama is so intertwined that it's almost like a route going by. But here, the plot isn't perfect. It's the emotional drive that actually I think takes us.
Yeah.
Because John Washington does such a good job of like being a stand-in for us. He has PTSD, but somehow he recovered really fast, by the way. And then he goes on this different faction. It's his journey, where at the end he dies and goes to heaven to meet his wife, and that emotional thing drove it, and I felt it delivered perfectly. The setting was just there to accentuate that story. That's why I give it a 9. And the CG was just brilliant.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe the budget they have. Like fuck Transformers, man. Like Transformers hire fuck additional 100 million, just hire more writers. Like this one was that perfect, man. Yeah. So that's our grade. Average 8.75. We highly recommend Creator. I don't know if it's still in theaters, but please go watch it. I mean, best theatrical experience I had in a long time. And I even watched it in IMAX. I rarely do that, but this one I just had this feeling that it's gonna be perfect. But anyway, guys, that's our take on the creator. We'll be back in 5 minutes to talk about
Gen V and Loki.
And before we end, big shout out to Zach Milet. I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you for your interest, and big shout out to ZZ.
ZZ.
Man, tell us more about you, man. We won't forget you, brother. See you in 5 minutes. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.